gas is entirely too high. That's all I'm saying. You are not supposed to be at the gas station making life decisions.
Gas $4 a gallon. Can't even pump gas like you used to no more. $4 a gallon? You remember when you used to go to pump and put the nozzle in there and hit it?
And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role.
I'm good, you know. It was crazy, man, because look, I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
You know, I can read.
Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
Gas is entirely too high. That's all I'm saying. You are not supposed to be at the gas station making life decisions. Gas, $4 a gallon. Can't even pump gas like you used to. No more $4 a gallon. You remember when we used to go to pump and put the nozzle in there and hit it. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. I'm good. You know him. It was crazy, man. Because look, I'm a smart guy. Yeah, you know I can read. And the same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the princey and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Well, it seems that the world of showbiz has started the year with a bang. Katt Williams has said that Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Ricky Smiley stole his jokes at one point in their career. He even further claims that Steve Harvey also copied content from another show for one of his shows. Katt Williams recently appeared on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay podcast, and during this interview, he came out with allegations about his fellow comedians lashing out against them to start this whole saga. Katt Williams accused his fellow comedian, Cedric the Entertainer, of stealing his joke. However, this is expected given that these two comedians have been arch enemies for a long time. The 52-year-old comedian lashed out against television host and producer Steve Harvey. He even went as far as calling him a potato head. Williams said the two entertainers conspired against him with TV host and comedian Ricky Smiley. In this context, he referred to Ricky as a liar. Strick told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? He said it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was like the idea the joke that he was even talking about don't even match up with no timeline. During the interview, Katt Williams really tried to justify that his fellow comedian jokes were not really up to par with his. Now, he might have said this for several reasons. One could be that he really didn't want anyone to be above him when it came to being the best comedian. On the other hand, it may be because he was feuding with his fellow comedians. Apart from that, Williams called Smiley a straight-out liar, claiming that he misled him for a role. He claimed that the 55-year-old once approached him and told him he would play Money Mike in the 2002 film Friday After Next. However, in that film, Williams was actually supposed to play the role of Santa Claus. Because of this, Williams claimed that Smiley lied to him, and it almost cost him. It seemed that Williams was willing to open up to podcaster Sharpe. This is because after talking about how Smiley lied to him, he went ahead and lashed out against Cedric the Entertainer. He told Sharpe that Cedric did the same thing as Smiley. To prove this, he talked about when Cedric was at Scad whether he stole Katt Williams' jokes. After this, Williams took a turn and started calling out the Hanging with Mr. Cooper actor, saying, "What doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. Can't say you stole one of his jokes. Yeah, like, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was like the idea of the joke that he was even talking about." However, Williams wasn't just going to stop at the allegations that Cedric stole his jokes. He even would. And after his appearance calling him a walruses with no talent, Williams claimed that they found out that Cedric couldn't sing, dance, or write jokes. He also mentioned that Cedric has only done 4 bad comedy specials, which are not even available on Netflix or Tub. You could hear it in his voice that Williams was talking with so much resentment about Cedric. However, this could entirely be fueled by nothing but the fact that the two have been feuding for a very long time now. After accusing the two comedians of conspiring against him, Williams then took a hit at Steve Harvey. He claimed Steve plagiarized Curry's role as Mark Cooper on the Steve Harvey Show. He alleged that Steve Harvey went to watch Mark Curry, as he did his whole sitcom and then stole everything he had done, and now, according to the Lonely Street star, Steve got a sitcom where he was the principal, and he wore a suit, and then he gets this high-top fade making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit, the same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Williams then claimed that Steve Harvey could not be a movie star, even if he wanted to. At first, he talked about an instance when he asked why he was not a movie star, and he said he didn't want to be one. After that, Williams claimed that Steve did not really like Bernie Mac. With the same thing, this is the part where he also claimed that no matter what Steve did, he couldn't become a movie star. However, how he said it could tell just how much Williams did not like Steve. He said that there were 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood. Each day after that, he said not one of them asked for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range. Williams and Harvey have been having a feud since 2008 when it became public knowledge. As far as we know, this feud could have even started years before 2008. However, it became public after Williams tried to go Harvey into a stand-up comedy battle. The two once formed on the same bill on New Year's Eve in Detroit that year. During this show, Williams really took hits on Steve Harvey, telling a lot of personal jokes about Harvey. This feud took the headlines at the time, as everyone anticipated seeing how it went. According to previous records, as 2008 was ending, a new stand-up comic beef emerged between Katt Williams and Steve Harvey, but it was mostly on Williams' part. And because of that, the duo was expected to settle it during a head-to-head battle on New Year's Eve in Detroit, watching and instigating from the sidelines at time was fellow comic Jamie Foxx, who had decided to join the co-hosts of his Sirius XM Foxhole radio show on December 19, 2008. He commented about the absurdity of Williams calling out Steve Harvey before their show Fox started by playing a clip of Williams dissing Harvey, where he was taped saying, "I want to apologize for what's going to happen." This was what Williams said of the upcoming joint comedy gig. He continued speaking to Steve, explaining that the moment Steve stepped on stage would be his last appearance as the king of comedy. He likened the situation to water finding its own level, implying that it was an inevitable change that couldn't be halted. He expressed his hope that Steve was prepared, suggesting that he would need a team of writers, possibly as many as 6 or 7, to meet the challenge. On the other hand, Steve wasn't even sure who Katt Williams was then. He told Fox and the crew that he didn't know who Williams was when he was on the radio in law. Not only that, but Williams hadn't been in movies, which meant he wasn't really known at the end of this call. Steve said that whoever Williams was to call him. After that, reports came that Williams called Steve, and they straightened everything out and became friends. However, Steve was the only one who thought that they had become friends. But it wasn't the same for Williams. This is because Williams went so hard on Steve during the New Year's Eve show, attacking him with many personal jokes. After that performance, Williams has been silent until recently, when he claimed that Steve stole his jokes. At this point, nobody can really tell what he has against Steve Harvey or what happened between the two. However, Steve is very quiet about this, not even saying anything about it. During the podcast, Williams was asked about his relationship with the 3 comedians, Harvey, Smiley, and Cedric. To this end, he claimed they had all been conspiring against him for years, meaning they were not really on speaking terms. According to how he explained it, the 3 comedians had been in a group for almost 30 years, saying they were not 3 random guys. He also said Ricky Smiley always appeared at all his auditions, mainly because of Steve, and said, however, Williams further claimed that Ricky would tell anybody that, even saying they had a gang on that side. At this point, we do not really know the real reason behind Williams' accusations against Steve. However, he seems to have even attacked Cedric the Entertainer and Ricky Smiley, claiming they all lied to him. Fans of Steve Harvey have not taken this lightly, given how much he is loved. Also, Steve is not really known to have any feuds with anyone. He seems like the most down-to-earth comedian ever. Because of this, fans will definitely not take things lightly. On the other hand, Steve has not yet commented about any of these accusations. But what do you think he would say if he were to comment about it? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more celebrity gossip and updates.